Many of you train large classes. Now, a large class, by definition, is a class that's greater than 32 people. So research suggests that 32 people or less is a class that you can actually control by working the room, learning people's names, and really getting to know individuals. Once you get past 32 people, it becomes very challenging. If you get 150 people in the room, you're not going to be able to welcome 150 people. You're not going to be able to shake 150 people's hands. You're not going to be able to learn 150 people's names, and you're certainly not going to be able to give eye contact every 2 or 3 seconds to 150 people. Things are going to change. So those of you who have taken Foundations or Maverick or Cram, you know that there's a lot of tasks that trainers do. You also may know that what I do for a living is I help trainers be successful. So I watch trainers, I watch them train, I watch them present, I consult with people, I consult on curriculum and instructional design, I consult with entire training staff on how to help their trainers be successful and improve. And I've been doing this for 20 years. So I started off teaching grade school and junior high, then I taught high school for 7 years, got into math and English, and then I started training about 12 years ago, and I trained in the business world. Healthcare software, other types of software, all sorts of things, working with physicians and CEOs and nurses and receptionists and secretaries and all sorts of schedulers and billers. And what I've found is that over the years, I've never been able to find a product or anything that can teach me effectively how to teach that's easy to use. I can find little things here and there, and I can put them together for myself, but I never found it. And then what I started to do over the years is I watched people teach, and I realized that the best of the best have a ton of things in common. So I analyzed them for years. I buy DVDs and watch them constantly. I watch myself on tape, painfully so, over and over again, and figure out what it is that I'm doing and what I can improve upon. And I'm going to give all that to you today, only I'm going to give it to you for large classes. So if you teach a class for 300 people or 3,000 people or even 30,000, the tricks are all the same. And you'll notice that the first thing I suggest that you do, actually before I tell you what I'm going to suggest that you do, I want you to notice that the reason why I'm teaching this to you is because I want your classes that are large to be just as good as your small ones. That's why you're here today. How am I going to do this? I'm going to teach you exactly what I'm going to suggest that you do, and I'm going to model everything. And you'll see that the first thing I've modeled is how to give people handouts. Did you notice there's not a handout on your desk this time? What did I have you do? You had to come up and get it. That's the way it is with large classes. There's too many people in here. I'm not going to hand out 3,000 companions. I'm going to have you come up and get one. Or maybe I'll put it in the back. And how did I get everyone to do that? Put it on the PowerPoint. People look at that. And if they're not looking, what should you do? At the beginning, before class starts, you should say to them, what did I say to you? If you haven't looked at the PowerPoint, do that. There's an action for you. So you get them to do it. So now everybody's got a handout. It looks like everybody's ready to go, and I didn't do a thing. Isn't that great? Now, the next thing I'm going to suggest that you do is this. If you look up here, these are the trainer tasks. This is another thing that's very cool. I show these in Maverick, which is my Elite Training Techniques program, and we actually dive into each and every one of these and show you exactly how to do every single trainer task that's up here. The problem is, when you teach large groups, these are the ones that are challenging, the ones that are red. You don't have these. You actually do have these in your companion there. You'll see they're bold. I would put a star next to that slide because that's what you need to deal with. It's true that every trainer needs to build credibility, but credibility is no different if I've got 20 people or 3,000. I'm going to build it the exact same way. I'm going to speak well. I'm going to look like an expert educator. I'm going to look like a content expert. I'm going to go ahead and show confidence and overcome nervousness, and I need to do all of that exactly the same, whether I have a lot of people or a few people. If I'm a man, I'm going to have a deep resonant tone that's going to articulate very clearly right up front. I need to do that if there's 3,000 or 3. If I'm a woman, I need to have a very articulate tone that shows confidence and is very clear. I need to do that whether there's 3,000 or 3. But if I have 3,000 people, being able to meet their needs is very different than if I have 3, isn't it? If I have 3 people in this room, or even 30, I can meet your needs in a very individualistic way. But 3,000, now it's tough. Look at some of the other red ones. Get trainees to like me. If I have 30 people in here, I can make a seating chart. I can write down your goals. I can write down your role. I can write down even the one thing you'd want to have out of this class that if you got it met, you'd feel good about coming, and then I could meet it. 3,000 people, I can't do that. And I could go through all these other ones, but you should notice in your mind that the ones that are red are the trainer tasks that are completely challenging in a large class. The other ones are no different. So if you want to know about the other ones, come to Maverick. And if you want to know where I came up with these, it took me years, painstaking years to come up with these 22 tasks. Because these are the only things that trainers do. And I can teach you all of them, but right now I want to focus on the ones that are different for large classes.